Okay, in our last recording we went through page 6 and just point out one or two things to finish that off. Just like peroxide in parentheses with the previous example, mercury 1, this is mercury 1 in parentheses. So this is mercury 1 phosphate. And 32 is kind of a freakish one too. We know that hydrogen, which is typically positive 1, and you're going to see that in this recording, this is copper Roman numeral 1 hydride. Okay, two possible answers here, one with the oxide, one with peroxide. Now on page 7, I'm not going to do a recording here. Tyler DeWitt pretty much aced this. All I'll say is that if we have an ionic compound that starts with a metal, I'm having you do this two ways. You could do it as manganese trioxide with the prefix, or if you figured out the Roman numeral, this would be manganese 6 oxide, treating that as oxide, and all of these are oxides. -2, -2, -2, positive 6. Otherwise, if it's a covalent compound with two nonmetals bonded together, then we are using only prefixes. Here's the 4 for the tetra. Here is the 3 for the trioxide here. So, in fact, I even helped you out here. The ones that need two names that are ionic compounds are the ones I gave you more room for. Starts with a metal. Starts with a metal. Chromium starts with a metal. Starts with a metal. Okay, so we're expecting two names for 43, 46, 48, 49. Let's go to the next page. The next page is writing formulas of acids. So, Tyler DeWitt does some nice naming ones. I did not find it writing formulas out. So I'm going to introduce this. So, until we get towards the end of the semester, what you need to just know for acids is acids are going to start with hydrogen ion, H+1 hydrogen. So when I see the word acid, 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 acid here, I know my starting positive ion is H+1. Now, here's what we need to know. For a non-oxyacid is pretty much that. Non-oxy is no oxygen. All non-oxy acids are going to start with hydro and end in ic. So all of these here start with hydro and end in ic. Start with hydro, end in ic. Start with hydro, end in ic. Hydro, and ic. For non-oxy acids, no oxygen. All of these come from the negative IDE. So to get your negative ion that goes with your positive hydrogen, again, when you see the word acid, H+1, +1, +1 for the acids, we need to find IDE, and we simply look for something like this, it's iodide. So this middle part is our negative. So this, if we look on our sheet, iodide, right here, it's just I-1. Okay, so hydroiodic acid is just H+1, I-1, done. Hydrosulfuric acid. Now, you'll see if you you should watch these Tyler DeWitt ones, especially before we do the next ones. Some of these keep our freakish ones, sulfur and phosphorus. Sulfur actually keeps the UR on this. So instead of seeing hydrosulfic, it is hydrosulfuric. We keep this UR. So this just comes from IDE again, sulfide, S-2 if you look on your pink sheet. So in this case, we need 2 hydrogens, so we have H2S. Hydrochloric acid. And by the way, if we did this previously, this is the same as hydrogen iodide. This is the same as hydrogen sulfide, same compound. This would be hydrogen chloride, Cl-1. Done. This is same as hydrogen fluoride. Okay, so the negatives, fluoride, chloride, sulfide, and iodide. Okay, again, all these are acids. They start with hydrogen with a positive 1 charge. None of them have oxygen. Now we'll look at some of them that have oxygen. Okay, and let me point out here quick. This is hydroiodic acid. If we had iodic acid, it would be this, HiO3. So iodic acid, HiO3, but if it starts with hydro, it can't have this oxygen, and you don't just get to do this, but it's a coincidence, but Hi. So down below, we are going to have these oxyacids. They're going to have oxygen in them. Okay, so here's the quick and fancy rule here, down here. If the negative ion on the pink sheet ends in ATE, the name has been changed to IC. 8 to IC. If the negative ion ends in ITE from your pink sheet, the name has been changed to OUS. Now I'm going to go to number 2 first. Now these are the names. So in number 2, if the name ends in IC, here's my name, the name ends in IC, what I'd find on the pink sheet is a negative ion that ends in 8. So if this ends in IC, what we're going to find is perchlorate. 8 to IC. So, again, acid, H plus 1, and perchloric acid, the negative ion is perchlorate. And perchlorate is ClO4, negative 1. So if we look up perchlorate down here, ClO4, negative 1. So perchloric acid is just, we have plus 1, minus 1, we're done. No hydro, because it has oxygen. Well, let's do number 3, selenous acid. Okay, this time the name ends in OUS. The negative ion we will see from our pink sheet would be ITE. So then you'd be looking for selenite. It would be the same as hydrogen selenite. Now SeO3, let me look it it up here. Selenite, SeO3, -2 charge. So if that is -2, we're going to need 2 hydrogens, right? 2 hydrogens. Okay. Now, phosphorus acid. That's kind of like up here. We keep the UR here. They keep the OR. So again, we're going to be looking for ITE here, but it's not phosphorite. OUS in the name. We're going to be looking for ITE on our pink sheet charge. This is phosphite, not phosphorite. So acid, H+1. Phosphite on our pink sheet is PO3 -3. Phosphite, PO3, oops, top of the third column, PO3 -3. So in order to get 0 across the top, we could put in 2 more hydrogens, but we need 3 hydrogens too. Okay, so that's how we write out formulas of acids. Again, if it ends in ic, you're going to be looking for 8. If it ends in OUS, you're going to be looking for ite. Again, keep in mind, we want to make sure that you are grabbing the right compound. So again, what I showed you here is hydrochloric acid from one of our kits. And you don't want to get this in your eyes. Make sure you know what you're grabbing. Hydrochloric acid should be HCl. Starts with hydro, ends in ic. Here's the word acid. So H+1 and chloride -1, which is this one right here. So hopefully you're getting more comfortable with writing all these out. Again, I think I showed you before. This one here, copper 2 nitrate. This is in one of the labs that you're going to do if you're online general chemistry. Sodium carbonate. Carbonate being a polyatomic ion. And so on. Okay. So then, after you write these out, the next one is to name these. And Tyler DeWitt does a good job with this. I'm not going to do a recording for this. In fact, I am done recording. So look for the rest of this. These are great recordings. And these are non-oxyacids. All of these 4 here are going to start with hydro and an ic. All of these are going to start with hydro and the word acid. Then these here, all you have to do is look up the negative ion and change ate to ic, ite to us. So this is metasilicate. So ate to ic, it looks kind of weird, but this is metasilicic acid. Ate to ic. Right here's my 8. Here's my ic. Okay, so for these, just look up the negative ion, change ate to ic, and in number 2 we keep the OR, and in number 4 we keep a UR. Alrighty, that finishes this worksheet off and finishes probably this entire unit.